UFC thrills, stills nights get loud. Big EQP, that's how we get down.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GRP. I'm hoping that the music wasn't doubled up for you like it was for me, because I was hearing double music, and I hope that doesn't keep up throughout the entire podcast. Oh man, I'm like, what is happening? I thought I had my webpage that's open that I am kind of monitoring. I thought maybe I had that on, and I guess not, so I don't know what's going on, but that's all right. Hopefully everything's good. Anyway, welcome back. We going on 2 days in a row here after the watch party podcast yesterday. Riding solo for that one, and it was a good time. I thought it started off a little rough for me. I was kind of out of it. I don't know why I couldn't like lock in, but then I finally did. I was battling trying to communicate with someone from a different country, and that one was rough because I wasn't ready for it. Usually I'm pretty locked in and ready to go, and for some reason I was in space case mode. But after a little bit it got going and I was good to go, so I'm glad that that settled in and everything seemed like it was good. I brought out the new overlay, trying it out for the solo watch party, and I liked it. I was just that's why I thought maybe I had two windows open and I had things going, and that's why there was double audio for me. But because I was just taking a look to see kind of how the layout worked. I got to find a way to implement that layout for this, like when I do this, the normal podcast on Sundays and Thursdays. That was really good for the watch party because I have, I have set things that I do. The chat's always going to be there, and I want a box for the chat too, just to kind of be there. And I like right now I have this outside, this background stuff going on, and I kind of like the moving background, but I don't really need it. So I like having stuff kind of in its place. So I might try that for a little bit, but I got to figure out how to put it on to the regular podcast because I switch scenes. So it makes it a little bit different. And yeah, I'll have to figure it out. Not a big deal. But with that being said, that leads me into the fact that I am going to take the week off. Thursday, obviously, is my usual next day to go on. And there is no fights coming up and nothing else big that I know of. Not that I really feel like covering anyway. I kind of want to focus on Thanksgiving itself this year. The past couple years, I think I've done something. And I just don't have a lot to go off of right now, and I want to take the time to kind of just settle in and lock in with changing up the scenes and stuff. So I just want to see what I can do with it. I kind of just want to revamp like I did for the show yesterday. I liked that, and it was a good refresh, and I got some decent feedback on it. So I think that's what I want to do. So I'm going to take the time to do that and change things up. So hopefully when I come back on possibly Sunday, if not Sunday, I might take the entire full week off. So if I don't come back Sunday, then you'll see the new layout, hopefully for the Thursday after. That's a long time to wait. I don't know that I can do that. I might have to come up with something for Sunday because I'm going to be like tripping out and just tweaking on the fact that I'm not doing any podcasts. I'm going to want to try it out. So I think I might have to commit to finding something to do for Sunday. So I wonder, did I mess with I sure did. There we go. I noticed a little bit of the GRP entertainment out of the frame, and it's because I turned I zoomed in the lens a little bit on accident. But anyway, yeah, so we'll just say tentatively right now, I'll be back next Sunday, a week from today. I'm just going to take during the week off for Thanksgiving. So you guys should too. I'm sure a lot of people aren't going to watch during Thanksgiving anyway. It is what it is. If I come up with anything and I am really wanting to do something, you might see me on here. So this is a good time to remind you that if you're here watching now, please hit that like button. That's the first thing you can do to help me out. And it just lets me know that you're here, on top of the fact that you like the video and my content in general. And besides that, gotta head to training, just popping in. Oh, what's up, Infinity? Thank you for jumping in anyway. I appreciate you. I know work's important. It calls, so you got to do what you got to do. But thanks for jumping in for a quick second. Make sure you like the video while you're here. If you're not subbed, please subscribe now. And also hit that notification bell, so that way if I decide to do any kind of content throughout the week, while I'm saying now that I'm taking it off, you'll be alerted if I decide to jump on. And I'm going to try to make some, some shorts and stuff too. I'll try to come up with something. I'm not going to leave everybody high and dry. Plus, for my own sanity, I'll focus on doing some stuff. So yeah, hit that notification bell so you know if I put anything out there. Besides that, I appreciate the support as usual, and make sure you don't forget about me while I take a little bit of time off. Could always do a fun pop-up during the week. Yeah, I mean, we could. Here's my problem, and this is what I was getting to. I have to go to New Mexico tomorrow. This wasn't supposed to happen. I'm pretty pissed off about it, honestly, but I do have to go to New Mexico tomorrow. But Infinity, if you want to do something, I can. I'm not taking my whole setup. I'm not taking anything with me, but my phone works really well. And my new mics that I bought, the small ones, the Hollyland ones, they work really well. So if you want to do something tomorrow night, hit me up, and I will do it. I'll do it from New Mexico. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Infinity. It was good. I'm actually pretty surprised. So I'm confident that it would be okay, that it would work out well. So if you're down, I'm down to do it. Because I won't be doing shit anyway. I don't even have prep to do. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. I'll be bored anyway. So if you want to jump on and do something, yeah, let's do it. Just hit me up. Maybe Wednesday if you're free in between cooking. Wednesday might work too. I'm not sure, because I might be doing stuff Wednesday night. Other than cooking, I don't think I have to really prep a whole lot. That's gonna take me too much time, but I'm not sure if we're gonna be home. So yeah. Tomorrow, though, for sure, if you have time, let me know. Because tomorrow's a great day to do something like that. Tuesday, I don't know yet, because I don't know what's really happening with the amount of time I got to be gone. So I'm not going to be gone past Wednesday. That's for damn sure. So I will be back by Wednesday, but I'm hoping to be back by Tuesday night at the latest. We'll see what happens. Any which way, I will be off until next Sunday. So don't forget about me, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I put any content out there. Other than that, let me talk about my, my sponsor as usual. Oh my God. I am not booing my sponsor. What the fuck? All right, later, Infinity.
Fuck!
I'm over here pressing buttons I didn't mean to press. I hit my Stream Deck, and I have a boo button on my Stream Deck just because it's been hanging out there for a while. And I hit it on accident. So I am not booing my sponsor whatsoever. I will give an applause for, I don't have the applause button anymore. Damn it. Anyway, no. It's my sponsor's great, and that is Noctane Smelling Salts. Let me hit that QR code and the logo there. Noctane, appreciate the sponsorship as usual. I go through this every time, but that's because they are my sponsor. And if anyone is new here, I want them to know that I have a sponsor, and it is Noctane. And I appreciate them sponsoring me. And I will be using this as I drive to another state tomorrow. It is a necessity. I will have to use it a few times, I'm sure, because I am very bad at getting very tired behind the wheel, and I don't like that. So this helps me wake up and stay alert, and that's what I use it for the most. But I also use it here to be awake and alert and try to make sure I'm paying attention while I'm doing the podcast as well. So here we go. Uh-oh. I do this, and then it's going to hit me like super hard. It's like I'm not really getting it. I'm going to get it now though. Oh, there it is. All right, I was being too scared. It did get me pretty good yesterday. It did get me pretty good. I know what's coming. So I get all worried. Oh, my eyes are watering. and get all worried, and then I just can't seem to get the nice big whiff, but I just got it, and that feels great. So that's what I like using it. It's great. There's a lot of different uses. You can learn all about it on their website. Scan that QR code on the screen or go to the link in the description below. Make sure you check out the bottom of the homepage where it says proudly sponsoring Going Rounds podcast, because that's awesome. And yeah, go take a look. It's a fun website to look at as well. It's really eye-catching and cool. So go check it out. Thank you, Noctane, for the sponsorship. Appreciate that. Now we'll get into the recap of UFC Qatar, because that's what we're here to do. Oh, before I do go too deep into that, I didn't prep anything for this because I was just like, I'll just talk about it real quick. I saw something a little bit ago about Conor McGregor. Actually, I might be able to do something here. Let me see if I bring this up. So basically, Conor posted about the fact that he seemingly went to Mexico to do it's considered a psychedelic of sorts, but it's more a healing thing. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's called Ibogaine. If you've ever listened to Joe Rogan and his podcast, you might have heard about it. So here's the thing. He's saying that he's back. Basically what he's talking about is the fact that he feels like he's healed. So with that being said, he wants everyone to know that he's doing better. Let me see. Okay, yeah, good. That is good. And he wants everybody to know he's doing better and that he is feeling healed. So let me go to this, and then let's focus in on this a little bit more. I'm not good at doing this on the fly, but I'm gonna try it because yeah, it's just easier since I didn't prep anything. We'll just do that, and it kind of brings it up. Okay, so hey guys, I'm back. I was blessed to meet the most forward-thinking doctors from Stanford University and undergo a series of treatments to address trauma. I traveled to Tijuana, Mexico, and underwent Ibogaine treatment at Ambio, which is the name of the facility he was at. He said, watch the Netflix documentary I just released titled In Waves and War, as it was the exact place I went. It was incredible, intense, and absolutely eye-opening. I was shown what would have been my death, how soon it was to be, and how it would have impacted my children. I was looking down at myself as it happened, and then I was looking out from the coffin. God then came to me in the Holy Trinity. He is mighty. Jesus, his child, Mary, his mother, the archangels, all present in heaven. I was shown the light. Jesus descended from the white marble steps of heaven and anointed me with a crown. I was saved. My brain, my heart, my soul was healed. I was 36 hours under before I finally rested. When I awoke, I was me again. The most enlightening and enchanting experience I have ever undertaken. The treatment was worth its weight in gold. It is very, very tough, but it has absolutely saved my life and in turn saved my family. Thank you for all your inspiration, motivation, encouragement, well wishes, support, and most importantly, for your prayers. They worked. I am my child again, but this time with the knowledge of my adult. To my family, friends, my fans, my support, my team, baby, we did it. The week is in for a treat. Oh, the world is in for a treat. To God, I am yours. Thank you for bestowing upon me this incredible blessing that I take with great care and absolute seriousness. I live my life per your word and nothing more. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your great grandson, Conor McGregor. So that's basically what happened. That was what he, I guess, went through. So if you don't know anything about Ibogaine, that is basically it's considered a psychedelic of sort, but apparently from what I've understand and read and what he kind of said there is that you do kind of go through your death, and it's grueling and it's not a fun thing. It is not a party drug. People hear psychedelics and they think a party drug like mushrooms or acid or MDMA or something like that. That is not what ibogaine is. But it's not currently legal in the US, but you can go to Mexico and do it, from what I understand. And it helps with, like, they take military veterans out there to do this because of substance addiction, trauma, you know, PTSD, everything. There's a lot of, good stories coming out from it, but you have to be ready to do something like that. You can't go against your will. It doesn't work that way. So it's just something I was surprised to hear him say. We heard him talk at the BKFC press conference about how he was a changed man, that he was saved. He went through a spiritual enlightenment of sorts. So with all that being said, now we know what he did. And that's promising for him because, it doesn't help everyone the same way and it doesn't impact everyone's life the exact same. But I've heard a lot of very positive things coming from people doing these types of like therapies, basically, because that's what it's considered. So it's it's interesting to hear all that from him, especially because we know how much of a maniac he is and how he wilds out and stuff. So I don't know, maybe this is a good change for him. Maybe this will turn him into a different person, but how much will it affect his form in the cage? Because I think that a lot of his success was derived from the trauma that he had and what he focused on. And what he focused on gave him the power to do the things that he did. Now, without that, is he going to be missing something? Missing that killer instinct, Those are the things that people worry about when they go do these types of experiences. Whether you believe in it or not, you get something out of it. Some people say it might be more of a type of, what is it called, placebo effect or something like that, or just like woo-woo snake oil type shit. But everything I've heard from it makes a lot of sense. And why would you go do something that's going to put you through just horrific things and bring you out on the other side as a healed person? And why would you go do that on purpose? Unless you really believe that it's going to change you, or someone gets you to believe it's going to change you. So it's interesting to see what the outcome of this will be. Who knows? We might see the same old Conor after about a year. But as for now, he's saying all the right things that might make stuff change for him. All is good, says Jesus is king. See, and that's what it is. I'm not an overly religious person, but I do, I was brought up in a way that I went through a lot of stuff in my religion that I was brought up in. And for me, I just don't focus on religion a lot. I feel like there is a higher being. I feel like there is something above us. And I do believe in all that. I just, it's a weird thing for me. I don't know how to explain it. I don't really get into it much ever. So for me, I appreciate and support what everyone else is about. And if this is helping Conor, that's great, because he was definitely on a bad path. And for him to say all those words like he did, that's a great thing. And I'm glad that he sees the light that way, and it's good. And it's a good thing. It's a positive thing. Now, does it stick? Does it stay? And does he continue to look at things in the light that he's found? I don't know. But it's a positive thing coming from him at the moment. So we'll have to wait and see how it works out for him and what it does. So I give him all the props in the world for coming out and sharing that with everybody. He could have kept that to himself and just shown what he changed, and instead he gave other people with the same kind of problems a possibility of something that might help treat their trauma and PTSD and other things of that nature, addiction, stuff like that. We all know that he was doing drugs and drinking, and it was out of control. It was quite evident. So this has helped him in that way. Whatever led him there is good, and I'm glad and I'm happy for him. So we'll have to wait and see if it sticks, because that's always the question. Everything can look good in the moment, but will he show and prove everything that he's speaking to be true, or is it just the right words to say at the moment because he hasn't been tempted yet? And that's the biggest hurdle, is getting through those temptations. So especially with the kind of temptations he has, we all know. So I guess we're gonna have to wait and see, but I appreciate him sharing all that, and I wish him all the luck, and we'll have to be waiting to see if he's going to be on that White House card, because we know that that's what he wants right now. So that's it. I just wanted to touch on that real quick. That was a little more than I wanted to go into that one, but it's a good one. So I hope it sticks, and I hope it's good, and I hope it stays that way. Good luck, Conor. He's a very talented guy. I've never been his biggest fan, but he was good for the sport and still is. If he can turn things around, come back and revive the superstar qualities of fighters in MMA and in the UFC especially, that's going to do nothing but help the sport that we love. So good for him, and good luck, and that's it. So let's move on and check out the recap of UFC Qatar, which happened yesterday. Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker was your main event in the lightweight title. Oh, not title fight. Sorry. I'm still stuck on pay-per-views because I did a watch party. It's usually for pay-per-views, but lightweight fight. I'm hearing double audio again. I really hope that no one else is. I hope you guys are not hearing double audio, because for me, I hear it and it's kind of annoying. But I'm gonna let it go and not let it bug me. I'm just hoping it's not coming across that way for you guys. So if you're hearing double audio, let me know in the chat, and I'll see if I can fix it. If you don't hear double audio, that's perfect. I'm glad, and it's better that you don't hear it, but I do. It's okay. Anyway, Belal Muhammad versus Ian Machado Garry was also on the card. It was the co-main event. This was a pretty good card, honestly. Overall, I feel like it was a good one. For the most part, I mean, we got, what, 5 finishes leading up to the co-main event, which turned into a decision, but it was a good fight to watch. It wasn't extremely boring. We had some down time in some of the moments were, you know, a little slow, but for the most part, it was a pretty good fight to watch. Ian Garry versus Belal Muhammad. And then we had the main event that ended in a finish with a submission. So pretty good night of fights, honestly. So let's take a look from the bottom to the top. Of course, that's the way I like to do it, because we got to cover all of the fights, especially since I'm just recapping the entire card here. That's basically all I'm covering, besides the Conor stuff I just talked about. But other than that, we're talking about the entire card. So let's take a look at the first prelim fight, which was Denzel Freeman versus Mark Boujlo. And this one was a little worrisome when I was watching it. I'm like, there's not a ton of action happening here. It was a unanimous decision win for Denzel Freeman. Both of these guys were making their UFC debuts, if I remember correctly. Denzel Freeman was coming in 6-1, fighting Marek. Did I say Mark earlier? I think I did. I meant Marek Boujlo, but he was coming in 6-1, making his UFC debut against Boujlo, who was also making his UFC debut, and he was coming in at 5-0, undefeated. Now he has his first loss on his record, given to him by Denzel Freeman. You know, one guy's got to lose. We don't end in draws very often, but someone does have to lose. So the guy with the undefeated record got his first loss, and Denzel Freeman gets his first win in the UFC for his debut. I got pop-ups coming up. Let me get this out of the way. But that was your first fight of the night. Second fight of the night, also a unanimous decision. We had Nurullo Aliyev versus Shamrock. I'm sorry, that's what they shortened it to, but it's Shamrock. And you know, he's a part of Paddy Pimblett's team. He was the first to fight off of their team this last night. But there was one other guy fighting on that card, and he, that was Luke Riley. He fought in the featured prelim. We'll get to that one. But for this one, Nurullo Aliyev got the win by unanimous decision, extending his undefeated record to 11-0. He was coming into the UFC at 1-0. Or I'm sorry, coming into this night at 1-0. He's 3-0 in the UFC now. He has wins over Joe Solecki and Rafael Alves. All three fights by decision. So he does go to decision quite a bit. His Contender Series fight was a first round finish by ground and pound. So since he's been in the UFC, he's gone to decision every single time. But he looked pretty good in this one, getting good strikes, landing on rock, and he just kind of took over and was able to win the majority of the time. There wasn't a whole lot going on in this fight, but for the second fight of the night, we had the second decision of the night with Nurullo Aliyev getting a win, extending to 11-0. Next up, we had our first finish of the night, which was Ismail Nordiev versus Ryan Loder. This one was fun. It was a very quick fight. A minute and 26 seconds into the first round, Nordiev gets a big overhand right that knocks out Ryan Loder, and it was a pretty bad knockout. It was fun to watch, though. Obviously, some people don't, but I always like, damn, that dude got knocked out hard. I feel bad for him, kind of, just because he's out cold on the mat. But Ismail Nordiev got the big overhand right KO and was able to get the knockout win at UFC Qatar, bouncing back from his loss from Jun Young Park in his last fight, where he lost by unanimous decision. This is his second win in the UFC and his first finish in the UFC. Ryan Loder has not had good luck as of late. This was his second loss in a row. He lost to Azamat Bakoyev back in May of this year. Also a TKO loss in the first round. So he's definitely having trouble getting out of that first round. He needs to reevaluate, get back to the drawing board, because something's happening here where he is not able to make it out of the first few minutes of the first round. He's gotten TKO twice in a row. This one was pretty bad as well. But it was the first finish of the night. It was an exciting one, and that's how we got out of the decisions. And then we just jumped right back into it with the next fight, which was Ilia Topuria's brother, Alexandre Topuria, versus Baskat Almakhan. And Topuria, though, he was decisive in this one. He was dominant. He busted open Almakhan's face, as you can see in that right hand picture. His striking was crisp. He doesn't move in the same ways. Well, he does technically move the same as his brother Ilia, but I feel like he's a little more slow in the way that he's not as bouncy. He doesn't move around as, he's not as active with his movement as Ilia is, but they have similar movement, if that makes sense, hopefully. But the thing was, you just kind of saw him walking Almakhan down and just landing his strikes, being tactical. It was a great win for him, and he is now 2-0 in the UFC, because he got that first win against Colby Thickness, which was a tough one for him, but he looked a little more locked in this time, and I feel like he just kind of played into his game plan well, and just what's the word? Why did I just blank? He basically executed his plan. That's what I was trying to say. Executed his plan in the way that he wanted to, and maybe he was looking for a finish, maybe he wanted a finish. That might have been the only thing that didn't happen for him, but Almacan is tough. He was able to take the punches, but in the end he lost, and Topuria is now 7-1, and Bezkat Almacan drops to 12-3. This was his he was coming off a win over Brad Katona with a TKO in the first round. This is his second loss in the UFC though, but his first fight was against Umar Nurmagomedov, so that is a tough fight for anybody in this division. So, you know, he's now 1-2 in the UFC. That's tough, but I mean, it's been loss, win, loss, so he can bounce back and he can make good of it and come back with a win. So he's still got some, you know, some time and some chances to be able to turn it around. Does Jones ever fight Aspinall? I think there's a chance. I do think there's a chance, but I don't think it happens anytime soon. Maybe if things go right, maybe end of this year, but more like not end of this year, end of this year coming up, end of 2026. And if Jones is still around, maybe 2027. I don't see it happening any earlier than July, the middle of the year, because I think John Jones wants to fight on the White House card. I don't think he fights Tom Aspinall on that card. No way. It's looking more like Alex Pereira from everything that everyone's talking about, but all of that is just rumors, right? We haven't heard of any matchups for the White House card yet at all. We actually haven't heard of any matchups for next year at all whatsoever, and that's weird because you got Paramount Plus coming up and we haven't heard any kind of news about fights that are upcoming. So it's kind of weird. No, anything could happen, really. I don't think he fights him anytime soon, but I think if he sticks around in the game for a little bit longer, I feel like he might fight him at some point. But if Tom Aspinall loses the title, that goes away. There's no way John Jones is going to fight him if he's not getting a title out of it. I don't see it happening. He's already found ways to get away from fighting him. So he's definitely not going to do it if Aspinall is not the champ. That's just how I feel though. But next up we had, well, with this one we had Topuria getting the win, obviously. And that was it for that one. So we'll move on to Abdul Rahman Yakayev versus Rafael Carcaria. This one was exciting for sure. 33 seconds into the first round, we get a submission win from Yakayev after he lands this spinning wheel kick, lands a good shot on the chin of Carcaria, just basically mauls him, drops him, and catches him with the rear naked choke. It was a quick fight. It was a fun fight to watch. There was not much to it except for what happened, which was Yakayev just coming out strong and fast and getting the win early. 33 seconds into the first round, he extends his undefeated record to 8-0. He was coming in at 7-0. This was his UFC debut as well. That's a hell of a UFC debut, coming in with a quick first round finish, submission of all things. But he set it up with the striking, and that is what was pretty impressive because he kind of did it all in 33 seconds and gets a finish in his first UFC fight. Carcaria is now 0-4. I don't see him sticking around in the UFC. There's no way. He's been finished 3 out of those 4 fights. 2 TKOs in those first 2 fights for him, both first round finishes against him. He lost by unanimous decision to Julius Walker, and then he lost this fight in 33 seconds of the first round to Yakayev by submission. So 3 out of the 4 are first round losses, and they're all by finish. So it's a wrap for him. I don't see him getting another fight at all. I'd be surprised if they give him another one. I don't think there's any way. So we will say goodbye and good luck to Rafael Carcaria. And when Yakayev has some promise, I mean, that might have been a somewhat of an easy opponent for him, seeing as how he dispatched him so easily and early, but that's a hell of a way to debut in the UFC. Next up, we had a fun fight between Asu Almabayev versus Alex Perez. Asu Almabayev just looked great in this fight. He looked locked in, dialed in, was technical with all of his striking, landing the wheel kick, landing the uppercuts. He winds up getting a submission by guillotine in the third round. 22 seconds in, he came out of that second round looking good, jumps into the third refreshed after the minute rest, and comes in and finishes off what he started with Alex Perez and gets a submission by guillotine in the third round. 22 seconds in, that moves him up to 23-3. He's now 6-1 in the UFC, and this is his second win in a row after losing to Manel Kape, giving him his first loss in the UFC. Before that, he was on a 4-fight win streak with wins over guys like Ode Osborne, CJ Vergara, Mateus Nicolau, and Jose Johnson. Pretty good wins, and then he faces Manel Kape and loses in the third round by TKO, but then he bounces back. Now he's on a 2-fight win streak with wins over Jose Ochoa by unanimous decision, and now Alex Perez by submission with that guillotine. Alex Perez moves down to 25-10 overall, 7-6 in the UFC. This puts him on a 2-fight losing streak. He lost his last fight by TKO in the second round to Tatsuro Taira. That was a knee injury from a takedown, but nonetheless, he still lost by TKO because that's what those count as. His last win was against Mateus Nicolau back in 2024 in April. He got a performance of the night bonus there and a TKO win in the second round. So being on that 2-fight losing streak, he's got some work to do to get bounced back into that winning column, and he's got the skills to do it, but he needs to put some things back together and regroup to get himself back into the winning side, and we'll see what kind of a matchup they give him. I'm sure he'll stick around. It's only 2 losses in a row, but he's definitely looking at a do or die situation in his next fight. Asu Almabayev is always fun to watch. He's fast paced. He's got great striking. He's got great submissions. His ground game is good overall, and I think he's got a lot of potential. So I think we'll keep seeing Asu Almabayev rise. Being that Manel Kape's the only one he's lost, and when Manel Kape is on his game, he's a tough guy to face in the octagon. So I think Asu's got a lot of talent and a lot of potential. So I'm excited to see what comes up for him next. Let's move on to the next fight, which was Nicholas Dalby versus Saeed Isgakmayev. That's a tough one. But Izag, I think it is Gakmayev. I think that's what it is. Anyway, this was back to the decisions we go, and this was a split decision win for Nicholas Dalby. He at least he didn't get KO'd like he did in his last fight against Randy Brown, where he took that right hook in the second round and got KO'd. It was a fight of the night though, so he did get a bonus, but he was on a 2-fight losing streak because before that he lost to Hinat Fakhretdinov by split decision as well. So this time he bounces back and gets the win over Saeed Isgakmayev by split decision. So this was Saeed, I think that's his first name. This was his UFC debut. A tough one to lose on the first round. And the first time of him fighting coming into the UFC. It's always tough to lose. But it was a split decision. He put up somewhat of a fight. He had at least one of the judges thinking he won the fight, so not bad. We'll just see what kind of a opponent he gets next and what he can do moving forward in the UFC. Back to the finishes we go with the next fight and the featured prelim, which was Luke Riley versus Bogdan Grad. This was a fun one as well. 30 seconds into the second round, we get Luke Riley getting a big KO win with the left hook and finishes him on the ground. As you can see in those two pictures, the first one is the left hook that lands, turning Bogdan's head and then finishing him on the ground. It was a great KO win for him in the second round. The first round was good, a good showing from him as well. He was the first of the night to get the performance of the night bonus in the 145 division against Bogdan Grad. Good fight for him. That extends his undefeated streak to 12-0. This was his first fight in the UFC. He is a part of that Paddy Pimblett team, so They were all celebrating in the corner. Pimblett was hyped, and so was Riley, as you would think, considering he just won his UFC debut by KO and gets the performance of the night bonus. That's a hell of a way to start in the UFC. Bogdangrad drops down to 15-4. This was his second loss in a row. He lost to Muhammad Naimov back in June of this year. So 2025 is when he started fighting in the UFC. February, he fought Lucas Alexander and got the TKO win in the second round with a performance of the night bonus, but he's lost his last 2 fights since then. 3 fights in the UFC, all in this year, and he's 1-2 now, coming off a 1-1 record in the Contender Series. But he's still got a chance to turn things around. As I said before with Alex Perez, you know, he's got 2 losses in a row, but he can get back to that drawing board and see what he can do with his next opponents coming up. It's not over yet, man. So keep working, and we'll see what happens with him next. Luke Riley has a great future ahead of him if he doesn't get too far ahead of himself. Don't let that fame from your teammate get to you, man. Everyone's gonna be high on him. They already kind of were, and now that he gets his first UFC win the way that he did with a bonus and everything, that's gonna be one of those things that can weigh heavy on him if he gets too big too fast. So take it easy, keep winning in a big way, and that'll be you'll have a great career coming up. So it'll be good to watch. We'll keep an eye out for Luke Riley. Next up, we continue with the finishes, and we start with the main card. The first fight on the main card, Kyoji Horiguchi making his way back to the UFC finally after a long ass time, honestly. But it was nice to see him back in there, man. He was just so bouncy, so active on his feet, and he just continuously moved around, bouncing on his toes, moving back and forth, left to right, in and out, just everything. He was doing it all, completely active and being elusive. Tagir Ulanbekov is a very tall and lanky guy, but he was not able to catch up to Horiguchi and really get anything landed on him. It did get to the 3rd round, and Kyoji was able to lock up a rear naked choke 2 minutes and 18 seconds into the 3rd round. It was a pretty good fight. You could tell Ulanbekov was super frustrated with the fact that regardless of the length that he had on Horiguchi and the fact that he was bigger than him, didn't seem to matter, and he was not able to really get a rhythm going and land any striking. He wasn't able to, control Horiguchi at all. So that's got to be super frustrating, and you could see it all over his face. Horiguchi was chopping down those legs and making it more difficult for Ulanbekov, to defend against anything. You see him landing that head kick. That's what wound up getting him to the ground, and Horiguchi followed him down there and was able to get in the right position to lock in that rear naked choke, and he does in the 3rd round. Also gets a performance of the night bonus for Kyoji Horiguchi in his return to the UFC, and that puts him at 8-1 in the UFC, 7-1 previously coming in. He hadn't fought in the UFC since I think it was 2016. His last fight was against Ali Bagutinov, which that's a blast from the past name. But yeah, he was on a 4-fight win streak when he left the UFC and went to Rizin, and he's been fighting in Rizin ever since, basically. And he was able to get a pretty good record going. He had a lot of wins in a row in Rizin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins in a row before he lost a kickboxing match to Tenshin Nasukawa. And then moving back into MMA, he went on another 3-fight win streak where he won a title and defended. Lost to Kai Asakura once and then came back and beat him. So he was coming off of 2 losses. Oh no, he was coming off a win. No, geez, he had so many fights. He was, like I said, he was on a 4-fight win streak coming into the UFC. That's what I meant to say. And he was the champ when he left Rizin. So coming into the UFC, he was coming off of a championship. ready to go. He obviously, his skills were still up there. And after the fight, he called out his teammate and he said, "I'm gonna kick your ass." Now, he was laughing about it to Alexandre Pantoja. That's what he said to him, but he's serious about the fact that he would fight him, because, you know, there's a lot of guys out there that won't fight their teammates or their, you know, training partners and stuff for good reason in a lot of sense. But most of the time it's just like, damn, you know, if that's the guy you got to beat to get the belt, how could you not fight him? And that's what the UFC feels as well. So most of the time the UFC doesn't take well to you saying you're not going to fight this person or that person. It is what it is. But if he's saying if he's got the chance to fight for the belt, he's going to do it, you know, teammate or not. So we'll have to wait and see, because Kyoji Horiguchi being on a 4-fight win streak and before he left the UFC, and then coming right in and picking up where he left off and looking as good as he did, he's still only 35 years old, I believe. And he comes in and gets a finish and a fight and a performance of the night bonus. So at 35 years old, he's got potential to, you know, take it to that championship and maybe get the title. But we'll see if they want to match him up with one or two more people before he gets there. Either way, great performance by Kyoji Horiguchi. We missed him. We're glad to see him back. A good return to the UFC. You love to see it, especially when he's been doing so well outside of here, to finally come back and do something like this against a bigger, longer opponent in Tagirul Bekov. It was a good fight and a good finish for him. Moving on, so that's two fights or two finishes in a row after the split decision for Nicholas Dalby. We had two finishes in a row, one TKO win and then a submission win, and we continue to move in the finishes with the third one in a row, which was Waldo Cortez Acosta taking the fight on short notice against Shamil Gaziev. He was supposed to fight Sergey Spivak, and Spivak pulled out. I don't remember why. I don't remember if I saw why, actually. Spivak says illness. That's all it says. So he had to pull out of the fight. Cortez Acosta decides to show up in Qatar, coming from, I forgot where they said he was, Dominican Republic, I think they said, is where he was, and he comes all the way to Qatar and gets the TKO win in the first round against Bogdan Guz. I mean, I'm sorry, Bogdan. I'm just reading this other name right here. Shamil Gaziev. And man, I mean, Gaziev taking a short notice fight against taking a fight against a fighter that wasn't supposed to be there is tough. But man, Cortez Acosta is just crazy. I'm becoming a fan of Salsa Boy. I don't like his nickname. I like the fact that he was an ex-baseball player. You know, I like baseball too. Coming from the Dominican Republic, he's, you know, got a great throwing arm apparently, and that's where his power comes from with his punches. But regardless of any of that, he's doing well in the UFC. Gaziev was on a 2-fight win streak coming into this fight with a decision win over Dontel Mays and a TKO win over Thomas Peterson in the first round. He was supposed to be fighting Spivak, and this was the third time he was supposed to fight Spivak. Holy shit. He was supposed to fight him in May, June, and November, and they all got canceled. That's crazy. So yeah, I don't think he'll ever try to sign up to fight him again. But regardless, this drops Gaziev down to 14-2. You know, it's only one loss after a couple wins in a row, so I'm sure he'll bounce back. Cortez Acosta gets the performance of the night bonus. This is coming off of only 3 weeks since his last fight, where he got poked in the eye by Ante Delia, and then, you know, the whole controversial replay bullshit. And he comes back, and with his first punch thrown, he knocks out Ante Delia, which was crazy. So coming off of that, he moves into this short notice fight and gets to Shamil Gaziev in the first round, 1 minute 22 seconds in, and finishes it with a right hook that knocks Gaziev to the ground, and he finishes it on the ground, as you can see in that right hand picture. So that puts Waldo Cortez Acosta on a 2-fight win streak. His last loss was against Sergey Pavlovich, and it's impressive because this was his this was his 5th fight in 2025 2015. What the fuck am I talking about? 2025. He started in March, beating Ryan Spann by TKO in the second round. In June, he turned around and beat Spivak by decision, by unanimous decision. He lost to Sergey Pavlovich after that in August. Then he bounced back against Ante Delia, got the performance of the night bonus with the KO win in the first round. And then he jumps into this fight with Shamil Gaziev, gets a TKO win in the first round as well, and gets another performance of the night bonus. So Cortez Acosta is on a good streak right now, winning 4 out of his last 5 fights, all being this year, which is crazy. So we'll see. He says he wants to fight again one more time before the year's up. He didn't suffer any damage in this fight, so it's possible. And he took this fight on short notice, so we know that he can make the weight, he can be ready to go, and he can put on a good fight. So I don't see why they couldn't turn him around and fight him again, maybe on that last fight night card. We only have 2 more cards left this year. We obviously have this week off, and then we come back on December 6th and have the pay-per-view UFC 223, right? And then we have 1 fight night after that. Yeah, UFC 223, which is Murad Dvalishvili versus Petr Yan rematch, and then Alexandre Pantoja versus Joshua Van, which should be damn good. A lot of the really lightweight fighters fighting on this one. Brendan Moreno versus Tatsuro Taira, Henry Cejudo versus Peyton Talbot, and Jan Blachowicz versus Bogdan Guskov. So yeah, that's on December 6th, and then we have a fight night on December 13th, and that does it for the year. December 13th is Brandon Royval versus Manel Kopp. So the rest of that card doesn't look great. We got 3 out of the 6 fights on the main card are women, but they might shuffle that, so you never know. Amanda Lemos versus Jillian Robertson. Who else? Giga Chikadze's coming back to fight against Kevin Viejos. Kennedy Nzechukwu, Joanderson Brito, Melquizel Costa, Cesar Almeida. The fuck? Anyway, I got caught up in that. But yeah, we only got 2 cards left. So Waldo Cortez Acosta is looking to try to fight on that December 13th card, I think, is what he wants to do. Which would be smart, because trying to fight in December 6th is crazy. But you never know. He came back and fought this one 3 weeks later, so it's a possibility. You never know, but we'll see what happens. So that was your 3rd fight in a row with a finish. We get to a 4th fight with a finish in a row, and that is Miktabek Orobai versus Jack Hermanson. Jack Hermanson, if you remember, was coming off of a nasty KO loss to RoboCop Gregory Rodriguez only like 4 months ago. And I was already saying ahead of time that this was a bad idea for Hermanson. The way he got knocked out by RoboCop was crazy. The way that it took him a while to get up, and how bad he was knocked out, he should have taken 6 months minimum. And instead he comes back within 4 months. So that was a possible reason for having lost again in the first round. An overhand right KO win for Miktabek Orobai. He didn't have to go through a war this time. He gets it done early, 2 minutes and 46 seconds into the first round. Miktabek Orobai gets he didn't get a bonus for this one, but he knocks out Jack Hermanson. It was a bad knockout again. As you can see, he's out already as Orobai's dropping down to hand him another punch before the ref got in there. And then you see Hermanson stiffened up in that right-hand picture. Tough to see, man, especially with the way that he went out. The fact that he had been knocked out not that long ago. 4 months seems like a long time to people, but not when you got knocked out like that. That's not enough time, I don't think. So it sucks that he jumped in there so quick and got knocked out again badly. It took 4 minutes and 21 seconds for Rodriguez to do it, so he actually got knocked out even quicker in this one. I think he needs to take at least a year off after those 2 fights. And he also dropped in weight, which didn't make any sense. Like, you just got knocked out 4 months ago, and now you're gonna drop weight, be dehydrated, which makes your chin lessen, especially when you've had chin problems before because you just got knocked out. It's not a smart thing to do, man. So that was a bad mistake on Jack Hermansson's part, fighting somebody like Miktabek Orobai and getting knocked out like that. But we'll see. Hopefully he takes the time off. Orobai is now on a 2-fight win streak. He won against Tofik Musayev back in June, where he got a first round submission win. So that is his second fight in 2025, and he's 2-0 in 2025. So that's good for Orobai. We'll see what's up next for him. Hermansson, I hope we don't see him for a while, because he needs the time off to recover. So that's 4 in a row. We get to the fifth and last finish in a row. We got Volkan Ozdemir versus Alonzo Menefield, and Ozdemir is able to get the win in the first round as well. Menefield is one of those guys where if he doesn't get on top quick, as far as like being the first one to the punch and making things happen early, then he will get kind of finished quick. And I don't feel like he has much of a chin. It's kind of a sad thing to see. As soon as he starts getting hit, it's over for him. He doesn't bounce back well, and he just succumbs to everything basically. I hate to say that, because he seems like he has potential, but maybe it's just not his thing. He can't hang with the higher, more elite guys. He always seems to crumble, and I think he has potential to do stuff, but I don't know that he has a chin to be able to withstand what the bigger guys can hand him. The more experienced and more, just well-rounded guys, it's a tough one for Menefield. So he drops this fight to Volkan Ozdemir in the first round. So that puts Ozdemir up to 9-7 in the UFC. He was coming off a loss by unanimous decision to Carlos Olberg. Before that, he was on a 2-fight win streak, and now he beat Alonzo Menefield. And Menefield was coming off of a 2-fight win streak. Volkan should fight Azamat? Is that what you Mirzakhanov? Azamat Mirzakhanov? Is that what you're thinking? That's not a bad fight. I think that'd be a good one. But Menefield was coming out. He was on a 2-fight win streak with wins over Julius Walker and Umar Sy, both by decision, man. And he turns around and gets TKO'd. In his last 5 fights, he is 2-3, and all of his losses. Oh yeah, no, it is Azamat. Yeah, I was just trying to figure out which one it was. You just missed that first Z, that's all. Or you misplaced the Z, I should say. But yeah, that Mirzakhanov. Yeah, that's a good fight. Mirzakhanov is 6-0 in the UFC. Hell yeah, that's a good fight. He just beat Alexander Rakic back in October. Beat Brenton Hibero. And he beat Alonzo Menefield as well. Yeah, that'd be a good fight. That's a good call. Against Volkan Ozdemir? Hell yeah. I'd like to see it. I think Ozdemir would definitely try to take that O from Mirzakhanov. So that's your 5 fights in a row with finishes. Only 1 submission, all TKOs. Ozdemir putting the stamp on it. And then we get to the co-main event where we get a decision. But it was a good fight, regardless of the fact that it went to decision. Volkan might take the O. I think he has a good chance, honestly. He looked damn good in this fight against Menefield, man. He looked like he was in good shape. He looked like he was sharp and on his technique. And yeah, I mean, Menefield is just not a great fighter. He's a good fighter. He's just not a great fighter. And he just hasn't showed a lot. Like, he never is able to put together a bunch of wins. He puts together a couple and then loses to one of the higher guys, like the guys that are higher up. I mean, if you look at his record, he beat Omar Sy and Julius Walker, but he lost to Mirzakhanov, who was undefeated. He lost to Carlos Olberg, who's a tough-ass fight. That's who Ozdemir lost to Olberg as well. He beat Dustin Jacoby and Jimmy Crute. Yeah, I could see that. Misha Serkinov, yeah. Askar Masarov, I don't even know. He lost to William Knight. But yeah, I mean, I guess he put together some wins there. He had a 4-fight win streak. He had a majority draw in there too. But I just recently, that was all back in 2023. Since 2024 he has 2 losses. 2025 he has 2 wins and now another loss. So it's weird, man. Menifield's a weird fighter. I just don't think he can hang with the upper echelon of the division. That's all. He finds a guy that's more skilled than him, and he can't fight his way through. It just ends for him. It's unfortunate, but it's true. So that brings us over to the co-main, and that was Ian Machado Garry versus Belal Muhammad. And like I said, it was a good fight. Ended in decision, but it was a good fight. I was wrong when I said Ian Garry doesn't want to take this to decision. Ian going to knock out Islam in the first round. Shit, I'm not sure, but I kind of think I would like to see that. I don't know that he could do it, but I do think it would be a sight to see if he did. Especially because we all know that Islam wants to take everybody down. And if Ian can catch him before that, man, that would be crazy. So I'll try to remember that. If he does do it, man, that is a big guess for you that you would get right. So yeah, Johnny, I could see that happening. I just don't know. I don't know. It's tough. Anyway, in this fight, he was able to stop Belal's takedowns. I think he was over 7. I think maybe he got 1 in there, but I think he stopped at least 7 takedowns. Ian looked good in that takedown defense, man. Belal just couldn't do it, and he trains with Islam and all them, so he wasn't able to get it done. I think with Belal's age and the fact that now he's dropped 2 in a row, but easily you can say very skilled guys. Obviously, JDM takes the title from him, even though he turns around and drops it right away. He still looked good in that fight, but Belal looked all right in that fight too. He busted up JDM quite a bit. So JDM beats him for the title, and then he comes and fights Ian Machado Garry, who's a tough fighter as well. So and on the come up, he got that 1 loss to Shavkat, but he's been winning since then. And they've all been by decision, but Ian's got skills to make it exciting. I mean, I wouldn't say they're all the most exciting fights. Neither was this one the most exciting, but it was a good fight to watch and to see what happened, to get all the way through. You weren't as bored as you were for Shevchenko versus Wei Li. So that was good. It wasn't as boring as Islam versus JDM either. And those fights were good and had, technical skills going on and the ground game. And I appreciate and respect all of that. But, it's a tough watch when you paid $80 to watch it. And on top of that, you had all kinds of, same thing here, all kinds of finishes leading up to it. You've been excited about what's been happening. A lot of first round finishes and stuff like that, excitement. And then you get to the fight and it's a lot of just laying around doing nothing. And that's not how this fight went, but we still got it all the way through by decision. It was only 3 rounds. Luckily, we didn't have to sit through it for 5, but it was a decision. And but Ian Garry looked good. That takedown defense did great things for him. And with Belal not able to get him down, he said he was going to box him up. He said he was going to outbox him, and he learned real quick that wasn't even possible for him. So Ian got a little scratch under his eye. I think that happened. They both did in the first round. And after that, nothing much more happened to him. So Ian just looked really good out there. Belal, he did his thing, but it didn't work. And that's his 2nd loss in a row. He's now 15-5 in the UFC on a 2-fight losing streak, being 37 years old. Yeah, that's tough. But he's still a tough guy. Maybe he turns into a gatekeeper. Can't beat the upper echelon, but the younger guys trying to, on the come up, trying to get up there and get into the title picture. Maybe he just becomes that gatekeeper for a little bit, kind of like what Leon was, I guess, for a while, until he finally got the title shot. But either way, can't wait to see the rankings on Tuesday. Yeah, that's always a good thing. And maybe maybe that's something I've been thinking about. Maybe I need to pay attention on Tuesdays for those rankings, and then I make some kind of content out of that. Bilal should fight MVP. That could be a good fight. I think MVP beats him. I think it looks kind of like this fight, where MVP doesn't have as good a takedown defense as Ian Garry does, so maybe Bilal would have a little bit more of a chance. But I think MVP might find a rhythm against Bilal. Might take him a minute, but I think he might find a rhythm against him and start feeling himself. And you know, he gets in that rhythm, and he starts putting together shit and landing things, and it could be a tough night for Bilal. Bilal's hard to finish, though. I think he's only been finished once, and I thought Ian Garry might have a chance to do it here, but it didn't happen. So, but yeah, I think MVP would be a good fight for Bilal. But like I was saying, maybe on Tuesdays when the rankings come out, I can make a short video or something like that about the rankings and the takeaways from it, and you know, my thoughts on it or whatever. That might be a good thing to do while I'm off. Maybe get that started, and we try to start some series of things happening, you know, make some content around certain things, rankings, fight announcements, stuff like that, instead of just doing like a graphic or something, which I haven't even been doing that. But yeah, just to get some more stuff out there, that might be a good thing. So Johnny, that might be something to look out for if on Tuesday when those rankings come out. I'm not promising it yet. Maybe I need to, you know, get some stuff together and really figure out how I want to do it, but it's a possibility. Anyway, yeah, I'll be waiting for those rankings to come out too, to check them out and see what happens. But that was your co-main event. Let's get to this main event. Hopefully Usman drops to number 15. Yeah, let's hope that Usman doesn't just get that title shot. That would be crazy, because they're talking about that a lot, and I don't know, man. That doesn't seem like a great move. But we get back to the finishes with this main event. Obviously, last fight of the night, and we get to see a finish. It gets to the second round. Arman looking good against Hooker. You know, Hooker just wasn't able to get anything going against Arman. I feel like I don't remember anything significant coming from Hooker. It looked like he started to, you know, bounce around a little bit more here and there later into the first round, and maybe try to start landing a shot here and there, but hadn't really put anything together. It wasn't a super tough fight for Arman. He was very dominant with his strikes and mostly his wrestling and grappling, though. He was able to just keep Hooker guessing with those takedowns, and he kept pressuring him against the cage. And you know, Dan Hooker got him in a what was it, a guillotine at some point, and he got him in it a couple different times, but Arman was just able to spin out of it like nothing, man. It was like a loose towel in a, you know, in a towel holder, where he just kind of pull on it gently and it falls right out. So he was just pulling right out of those submission attempts from Dan Hooker, and Hooker just was frustrated, couldn't do anything with it, couldn't get anything going, and he's usually fighting from a detriment, and this time he couldn't get back from it. And you know, they clashed heads in that first round. Dan Hooker's eye blew up. I don't know that affected him much. He's used to fighting with a lot of damage on his face, because it happens every single damn fight for him, whether it's intentional, unintentional, accidental, or just inflicted from strikes. He's always got some kind of damage on his face, and that's just, he's used to it. So I don't think it affected him too much, but maybe it did. Either way, it only took 3 minutes and 34 seconds into the second round of 5 for Arman to be able to lock in that arm triangle choke and get the submission win over Dan Hooker. So we'll see what happens next for Arman. Oh, I forgot to say that Ian Garry called out Islam, saying, hey, you saw I didn't get taken down. I had those takedown, that takedown defense was strong. So he's telling Islam, you come and take me down now, see what happens. Which is pretty good. And also Ian Garry got into some kind of little spat with Khamzat Chimaev in the back, where Tsarukyan was with him, and it looked like Tsarukyan was going to go after him, but it looked like they had, you know, kind of gave each other the head nod respect thing. And all Ian could say was, hey, listen, Khamzat's supposed to be a champion. That's childish shit you're pulling there. Said little dick energy. This is all funny. Ian's got away with words. He's definitely good on the mic. A little cringy sometimes, and I can see why people dislike him with the overconfidence, and he just kind of holds himself above everyone. But it is what it is. He's good with his words and on the mic, so he kind of made Khamzat look a little bit bad in that one. But Khamzat pushed him after they were just talking too. It was kind of weird, a weird exchange. It was a weird situation. But Armin was there as well, and Ian said, hey, you know, you shouldn't be taking the light away from your brother over there who just won his fight. You should be helping him celebrate and not over here, you know, acting childish. I thought Khamzat had a foot injury. That's the point too. They just, you know, yesterday was it that saying that Khamzat was going to be out for 5 to 6 months or some shit because of a foot injury and or some kind of injury. And it's like, what the fuck are you back there trying to start shit with Ian Garry? If you're injured, you should be staying far away from any kind of altercations. But you know how these guys are. Khamzat says, I kill everybody. And he thinks he's just gonna... And it's like, well, do it in the cage, you dumb fuck. That's where you get paid to do it. What the hell are you doing? Khamzat gets triggered easily. I wonder how his girl... Oh, shit. Oh, man. Johnny. That's funny. But it does seem like he gets his feelings hurt real quick, like, so I don't even know. That whole situation just seemed way out of pocket. Didn't need to happen. I get that Ian gets under people's skin by just existing, but Khamzat just like flipped the switch real quick, and it was strange. But either way, Armin calls out Ilia Topuria as well, obviously saying that he should have had the title shot already. Now he should get it. Ilia talked shit online. Armin came back at him. It's a whole thing. So I guess we'll see what happens next. You know, there's a lot of movement in that welterweight division. It's a stacked division. It's a deep division, and there's a lot of talk as to who's going to get the title shot or who's going to fight who next. You know, Ian Garry possibly fighting someone like Michael Morales. That would be a good fight. Otherwise, getting you know, he put up a good argument for why he should get the title shot next. And then they're talking about Usman getting the title shot, which is fucking stupid, coming off of one win over Joaquin Buckley. It's like, come on, get the fuck out of here. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But Ian Garry for the title, that would be interesting. Prates, I mean, Garry beat him, so I don't think that should happen. Promo over performance, yeah, that's the thing, man. It happens sometimes. But yeah, Prates lost to Garry, so I think that takes him out of it quickly because Garry just won. Even though Prates won his last fight in a better way. Who else? Oh, Michael Morales won in a big way. But I don't think he's had the strength of schedule that everyone else has, even though he's undefeated by so many wins. I think it's like 18 or 19-0 now. But you know, he's 8 or 9-0 in the UFC, but he hasn't had to face a lot of people. So I think he's still at least 1 or 2 fights away, maybe, or else he gets that one, you know, that one good fight. With how stacked that division is right at the top right now, I don't see Morales getting the title shot just yet. Maybe him and Prates win or fight, but I don't know that they would do that because Dana White favors the greatest welterweight. Oh God, even calling him that is just weird. I respect the dude and what he's done, but I don't know that he's the greatest welterweight of all time. That's strange. But yeah, there's a lot going on in that division at the top, especially. So I don't know that Michael Morales gets it yet. But what if, you know, if Ian doesn't get it, maybe Ian fights Michael. That would be a good one. I don't know that Prates and Morales would fight each other, but maybe that could happen too. But then we got Shavkat back in the mix. So maybe Ian rematches Shavkat, or Shavkat gets the title shot right away, but I don't think that happens either. Ali and Usman paid Dana to say that. I think that's a lot. Ali and Usman and Islam both have Ali as their management or whatever. So yeah, and Ali has a lot of pull in the UFC, unfortunately. So that might make that kind of happen, but you never know. it's something to look out for. Let's take a look at the fight wheel and see how the predictions went. I know they didn't come all in correctly, but you never know what we got. So let's look at Orobai did get the win over Jack Hermanson. Volkan Ozdemir got the win over Alonzo Menefield. Waldo Cortez Acosta got the win over Shamil Gaziev. Ian Machado Garry gets the win over Bilal Muhammad. That one's correct. Tagir Limbekov did not beat Kyoji Horiguchi, so that's one wrong. And then Arman Tsarukyan gets the win over Dan Hooker. So what is that, 5-1? The fight wheel predictions are back in the win column because last week it went like 1-4 or some shit like that. So this week it's 5-1 again, like it had been the couple weeks before the pay-per-view. So that's nice to see the fight wheel predictions doing well again. I think I've only had one, maybe two times that the fight wheel has predicted all fights correctly. I think it's only been one, but it's tough out here, man. It's tough out here to get them all right. But this week, not too bad for the fight wheel predictions. So that about does it. That wraps it up for me. And once again, I will be off until next Sunday, so we'll have a full week off. I will come up with something to talk about next Sunday. We'll see what kind of fight news comes out between now and then. I have a lot going on this week. I have to go out of town for work. I'm possibly doing some other podcasts. We'll see. And then we have Thanksgiving. So with all that being said, I'm going to try to put out some other kind of content throughout between now and then. If not, I'll definitely see you next Sunday. So don't give up on me. Please tune it back in next Sunday. I hear Francis grabbed Don Davis by his collar and told him to get me a private jet so I could travel the world. Oh, man.
Bruh.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah. That Dana White, Francis Ngannou shit is funny. Yeah, so that's it. Stick in there with me. I will be back next Sunday. I know that's a long time considering the amount of time I go live recently and have been over the past few weeks, but it is what it is. It's time to have the turkey and the family time and all that good shit. So I hope everybody enjoys their Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. Please make sure that you take some time to reflect on the things you're thankful for. I know it sounds cheesy and corny, but it's a good thing to do. If no other time than on Thanksgiving, make sure you give thanks to all those that are there for you and support you and help you and that you love and that love you back. And make sure that you give thanks for all the blessings you have in your life, all the good things that are going for you. Stop focusing on the negative. I have to remind myself of that every single day. So I appreciate all of you guys. This is a part of a positive thing for me. I love doing this show. I love having this outlet to talk about the fights, and I love interacting with everybody in the chat. So Johnny, you were the most active in here today. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here and interacting on a normal basis. All is good. Z60 was in here as well. Thank you for that. DJ Infinity always in here supporting. Had to go back to work, so I appreciate you jumping in anyway. I appreciate everybody out there. Thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that like button before you leave. If you're here watching later or here watching now, please make sure you hit that like button before you get out of here. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you know what kind of content I might be putting out while I'm gone for the week and when I will be going live next. All right, that's it for me. Have a good Thanksgiving. Take it easy. I'm out of here. Peace.